Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has just dropped an absolutely massive bombshell on the state of California, Californian Governor Gavin Newsom, and really every single far-left radical progressive across the entire nation. Now, as many of you know, just a couple years ago in 2022, California state signed legislation into effect which mandated that by 2035, just 10 years from now, every single vehicle in the entire state has to be an EV, an electric vehicle. And so obviously, this would have effectively killed numerous American industries, which is why President Trump just did this.
But in a few moments, I'll sign 3 pieces of legislation that will kill, totally kill. You can't do anything about it. They can't take us to court. They can't do any of the things they can do with the executive orders. And it's permanent. I'll sign 3 pieces of legislation that will kill the California mandates forever, and they're never coming back.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. California's electric vehicle mandate is officially dead. But you know what? Take a listen to what President Trump himself had to say about why all of this is such a big deal.
Think of it, a plan to ban 100, and they call it the 100% ban on all new gas-powered cars, and abolish 75% of the gas-powered trucks. 75%. The trucking industry saw me. They said, "Sir, it doesn't work." Number one, the trucks are so heavy. They're 2.5 times heavier than a diesel-powered truck. So one of the big truckers owns 28,000 trucks, big company, tremendous company. He said, "I go out of business immediately. I'm not going to play games." He said, "Did you explain these things to the government officials?" Like, the truck weighs 2.5 times more than a regular truck, a gasoline-powered diesel. And he said, based on that, we have to rebuild every bridge in the United States of America because it wasn't designed to hold cars and trucks that heavy, because the batteries are very heavy. They're, probably lead, but they have a lot of things in those batteries that weigh a lot. But it's 2.5 times. It's a simple number, 2.5 times. And if you want to do this, you have to spend trillions and trillions of dollars on rebuilding every bridge in the United States, and I guess throughout the world, because they do follow us.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, here's the reality. Not only is this a massive deal for our trucking industry and all of our nation's infrastructure, but also this was just yet another piece of radically progressive legislation designed to control the lives of Americans, telling us all what we can and can't do. The reality is, for decades now, California has served as a testing ground for numerous pieces of radically progressive anti-American legislation, because they know that if they can normalize some policy in California, it won't be long until they can push it out across the entire rest of the country as well. In fact, President Trump actually directly addressed that very idea, and so I want you all to take a look at what he had to say about that. But first, I do want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, check this out.
But they wanted to shatter our domestic supply chains and literally grind civilization to a halt. We would have gone so far back. It's hard to believe, actually. Hard to believe when you don't have enough electricity to give a person a little air conditioning in the summer, and now they want you to take electricity and fire up all these cars. But we're not going to let that happen. Meanwhile, all of the auto jobs would be shipped to China because they're very strong on electric. And it lives off an estimated 200,000 American auto workers would be destroyed. It's one of the reasons I did so well with the United Auto Workers. And now I'm really doing well with them. I did phenomenally with them. No Republican ever got any numbers like I got. In the Teamsters, too. Sean O'Brien, the head of the Teamsters. These guys, they like Trump because I produce jobs. They know that. Everybody knew that. The auto workers knew better than anybody how good the tariffs were. And the head of the auto breakers, I don't know him at all, but he didn't like me at all. Now he's going around saying, "This guy's unbelievable." He was very nice to me the last few months. During the campaign, no, but if I've proven, I've proven it. I've done what I said I was going to do, and we've brought back tremendous numbers of jobs. And you're having auto plants built all over the country, all over. There's never seen anything like that. They're leaving from Mexico. They're leaving from Canada. They're leaving from other parts of the world. If they want a Mercedes-Benz, you're going to have it made here. It's okay to have a Mercedes, but they're going to make it here. Otherwise, they're going to pay a very big tariff. They already are. That's one of the reasons we have $88 billion. It's a lot of money. But that's peanuts compared to what we're going to be making in another few months. They haven't even kicked in yet.
And so, folks, this is exactly what all of this is about. The truth is, the far-left radical progressives here in America don't actually care about electric vehicles or the environment or energy sustainability. No, all of these talking points are just weapons that they can use in order to undermine American prosperity. Their primary objective is to destroy our domestic manufacturing sector, to cripple our energy independence, and to make us dependent on foreign adversarial countries like China. And this is exactly what their goal was with the California EV mandate. Now, luckily, we finally have a president back in the White House that realizes what the progressive left is trying to do, and so that's why President Trump is shutting all of it down. He knows that if you don't aggressively nip this stuff in the bud, so to speak, that it will slowly creep out across the entire rest of the country. As you all know, for decades now, the far-left radical progressives have been trying to push various policies just like this that do nothing other than undermine the well-being of the United States of America. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, those days have now come to an end. We need to be honest here. For the last 50 or 60 years, the far-left anti-American radical progressives have pretty much been acting with complete and total impunity, tirelessly working without impediment to destroy our country from the inside. EV mandates, shutting down American energy, shipping all of our manufacturing overseas, putting our country into an egregious amount of debt and disrepair, all of this has explicitly been a part of their agenda. And so, folks, this is why it really is such a big deal that now, finally, we actually have a president back in the White House that actually puts America first. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I do want to say real quick that we officially have a Morse News Twitter page as well as a Morse News Facebook page. So if you use either of those platforms, please go down below and drop a follow in order to get breaking news updates that relate to everything we talk about here in the YouTube videos. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there, and like I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.